so we are down in the sewers.
Yep. Valentine just dropped down after the greyhuahua and you're now soaked. You're welcome.
Let's see if anybody's looking and fly down because I don't want to touch that ladder.
Valid.
How far down is that, sorry?
Probably far down enough that a straight drop is going to hurt. Well, it probably hurt Valentine. Reeza, you're probably fine.
I'm fine, I just jumped down.
I'm pretending to climb down.
No one is paying attention to y'all. Everyone's busy, like, they're getting lunch. People are hungry.
Okay.
So, everyone is down. No one was paying attention to you. The greyhuahua is somehow floating over the water now, so it doesn't dissolve. It looks a little bit smaller.
Before Zero jumps down, I look at the greyhuahua and you're not that cute. No.
It just does
stop
a happy
it.
little wiggle. Starts like jumping up, putting its paws on your knees like a puppy asking for you to pet it.
No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not. By the time Zero comes down, Valentine's hand is like, the tips of his fingers are stained black.
And the puppy just looks so happy.
You like him so much, it's adorable.
I'm starting to get the feeling Valentine might activate this sometimes just to play with the puppy.
I will neither confirm nor deny.
Is that why there's ink spots all over the house? All over your office?
No.
To tell, I spilled an inkwell. I spilled an inkwell.
No.
I believe once, but not all the amount of times there's how many spots are all over that place.
Okay, the last inkwell you spilled was like 132 years ago, last week.
I did spill an inkwell.
It's not technically a lie.
Aren't we supposed to be finding someone who shouldn't be here?
Following you, Wiggly.
As you say this, Valentine, you look up and see the little tail disappearing now.
Hey!
It's very great. He got his belly rubbed. He's ready to go back to work now.
Follow the Poochie Wawa.
It's fun creating really silly things for us to act.
Oh, I can't wait for this to be canon.
Right?
Yes.
You've got Angela here. It is canon.
Yeah.
Everything's getting written down.
We won't get to see it because you don't have any ink anymore.
For now.
Well, and does have to redo some of the tattoos.
Redoes the Greyhound one just because it's too cute. And that dog is going to be so excited to see you, and then it's going to be so mad that you left it alone for so...
All his ink is tactical except for the Poochie. That one's for pleasure.
Threadripper's going to come into the office with Valentine wearing like those nitrile gloves so that he can like, I had to go to work. I didn't mean to leave you.
Dragon's like, oh, no, keep going. She's brilliant. She's been filming in the corner the whole time.
This has to be a TikTok.
Yes. Okay, so the Poochie is continuing on its chase.
Reeza dashes after it.
Following.
I ditch my glamour and fly.
I also shall look like myself and fly.
Are you still eating your sandwich?
Of course.
How can you eat in the sewer?
He didn't find it in the sewer.
It was in my pocket.
It was by a dumpster.
It was not by a dumpster. It was in my pocket.
Where were you standing when you pulled it out?
By a dumpster. But it doesn't mean the sandwich came from the dumpster.
I'm still confused as to how you can stomach the stench of the sewer and eat at the same time.
I can't.
He discovered the trick to turning off his sense of smell.
You know it.
Either that or Zero Day just hasn't been able to smell anything for years and no one's actually asked, so no one knows.
No. I've turned off my sense of smell.
Oh yeah,
You forgot how to do that?
I just forgot I could. I didn't forget how.
Can I shift the inner nose workings?
Surprised you don't do that more often while in Valentine's office.
Oi!
On cleanup day, I do.
I need better friends.
Don't deny it.
You love us. You know you do.
He doesn't love me.
No. Surprised there are people who do.
I think he does somewhere in that deep, deep cold heart.
He has a heart.
Somewhere.
I was just about to say that.
I was about to say, don't worry, I'll find it again whenever he finally gets up the courage to ask Eris out.
Every time he calls me his best mate, it grows 3 sizes too large.
And then it shrinks back down about an hour later when he finds 0 day.
Pretty much.
See? Balance!
I'm rather proud of that, actually.
This conversation is happening as you are following the greyhuahua through the sewer tunnels. It doesn't smell great, but for lovely, lovely pixies, you can't smell anything, so it's fine. Reeza, this is probably kind of one of your personal hills, having such a good sense of smell.
Reeza doesn't actually mind it too much, considering what...
You've smelled worse.
Yeah. I'm very long-lived, and with the communities I've lived in, this is nothing. I lived in, like, Britain in, like, the 1800s, where they dumped their droppings out their window.
I hated that
So.
century.
Yeah.
Really did.
It was not... It was awful.
Very hard to keep your shoes clean.
I like to spend most of my time on the water.
Yeah, 'cause that's more sanitary.
Dump everything in the water.
Yeah, 'cause that's more sanitary.
It is incredibly more sanitary.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
because then it gets washed away. We never see it again.
Where'd that greyhuahua go?
Where'd the greyhuahua go? Left or right?
Y'all have been following it.
Yeah.
Where's it leading us?
I wasn't paying attention. I was following Threadripper.
I was following it. I also have very good hearing, so I can hear where it's going if it gets around a corner.
Does it have a tiny little yip?
He sits down and you just hear this little yip, yip. Just the tiniest little bark. And it just kind of like paws in the direction of this, so it's like a bigger tunnel. He's just pawing, looking up at you with the big eyes, like, what's the treat?
What's the plan, Valentine?
You wouldn't happen to have one of those, little pokeballs, would you?
That's for ghosts.
Those are ghosts. This is a ghoul.
Yeah,
I mean, yes, but
not that kind of ghoul.
Yeah, worth a shot.
Valentine, would you like to roll to put a face to a name to see what you remember about ghouls?
Sure.
That would be rolling plus night.
So that's a 6?
You don't remember anything about ghouls, and something bad's gonna happen at some point.
Yeah, ghouls, they're, those, are those the biting ones, or are those the...
You don't remember anything, do ya?
I've read things.
You have actually dealt with ghouls before, but as you're saying this, something comes out of the shadows and just knocks you straight back into the gross.
Boss, are you okay?
And you see this shape, it goes down, and the puppy just takes after it, just yipping along the way.
Reeza, Zero, go after it. I'll help Valentine out of the gross.
All right.
I unhook my wrench from my belt. I book it.
How deep is the water?
You're not gonna drown, but you're covered in...
Waste.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so as Valentine says it, it's gonna take me forever. Get the smell.
I'm following Reeza.
As you chase after it, you're able to keep up with it. What are you trying to do as you are chasing this thing down?
At this moment, just keep my eyes on it to make sure it doesn't vanish from sight again. If I get the opportunity, knock it out with my wrench.
It's not as fast as you remember ghouls being. It also seems to be a little bit more corporeal than most ghouls are.
I'm gonna do a thing.
What are you gonna do?
I am going to use a quote-unquote fairy power.
Gonna use one of your moves?
I'm using one of my moves. I'm going to use glamours to make it look like they've just cornered themselves.
Hey, that works.
Alright.
It just says, create illusions to fool the senses. The effects don't last long, but they are compelling. You cannot disguise or conceal yourself or your actions with these tricks.
Yeah, I forgot that for the Fae, it's just things that happen. It just happens. You don't have to roll to channel to make things happen. It just happens.
I'm gonna mark a corruption as the cost for that one.
How far behind are Valentine and I? I had to help him out of the sewer. He had to dry heave.
I'll say it takes a minute for him to get himself together. You can't see Zero and Reeza, but you can probably like hear the water sloshing as they move. You can find them.
Probably cackling the whole way.
I'll go with Threadripper and head towards 0 days cackling.
So, Zero, as you create this illusion, it was right as where you couldn't go straight forward, you had to turn. And you do this so, like, immediately as it turns, it sees that there's something in front of it, and it just stops. And you see somebody, it looks like a ghoul, but whatever was in those coffee beans has changed. It's starting to gain more form. It's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's not supposed to be here. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
You shouldn't be that solid.
I know it's great, isn't it?
How are you that solid?
The coffee beans. The beans. Someone told me that the beans would help, and the beans helped.
So it's not the caffeine.
I was just told to try the beans, and the beans helped.
Okay, someone told you to try the beans?
Yeah, I heard someone saying, you should try the coffee here. And I tried the coffee, and I started feeling different. I figured if I got enough of it, I would become different enough, they wouldn't put me back.
Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense.
What?
Valentine Threadripper, you heard that last bit. And you see there's a ghoul standing there. Valentine, now you remember, oh yeah, ghouls, duh. Because it's been established you've dealt with ghouls before.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, those guys. Except for this ghoul looks a lot more corporeal than it should. And the magic feels different. You can still tell it's a ghoul, it just feels different. Also, it's jittery.
And it feels grainy.
Does this ghoul look like coffee beans?
No.
It just somehow has a weird grainy texture like coffee ground.
A little bit.
Thread will come up beside 0 Day and start to kind of slowly, meander, fly closer to the ghoul. Hey, buddy. We're all friends here at the moment. My name's Threadripper, and what's up?
Well, I was just in my space, and suddenly there were people outside of my space, and I don't know what you're doing here, but I don't want to go back. I was in there for so long. I don't want to go back.
I wouldn't want to go back either.
I wouldn't either. We get your plight. So why don't you come with us to somewhere less smelly for these humans and shifters and people who can't block their sense of smell? Let's make them comfy, and we can go somewhere and talk.
Roll to persuade an NPC. When you persuade an NPC with seduction, promises, or threats, roll with heart.
11.
Alrighty. Oh, yeah, sure. Do you have anywhere in mind? Maybe back by the coffee shop? I love the coffee there.
I was thinking back by the coffee shop. Listen. Let's see, hang on. What does glamour include?
I think glamour is just generally creating illusions.
How long do they last? It says not long.
Zero's glamour's probably gone.
Okay, my goal is to travel back towards the coffee shop through the sewers with the ghoul and come aboard, use a glamour long enough to get it back by the dumpster so that it appears humanoid. Human-ish, more than humanoid. Can I do that?
I'll say that you'll be able to do it all if Zero Day can be convinced to help. You'll get a lot less weird looks as you lead to the school.
Okay. So let's go back towards the coffee shop. And I can't really see what you look like down here. Would you be averse to being shielded?
No, not at all.
Cool. Zero, will you help me with that?
Of course. Since you ask.
Rhetorical!
Alright.
I want to take it by the arm, like hook my arm around it. Around its arm. Does it have an arm? I don't know what sort of form it looks like.
It's becoming more corporeal, and it's able to shape itself into a more humanoid form to make things a little easier. It kind of feels a little weird to loop your arm around it. Like it's a little squishy.
I'm going on the other side.
See, we're all friends here. Let's go and have a nice chat. We're friends for now.
Valentine, Reeza, what are y'all? How are you all reacting to this?
Valentine is just seething right now and just letting this play out. Because if Valentine opens his mouth, he's going to say something about a dry cleaning bill, and that's not going to help the situation.
I mean, you snuck up on him. He panicked.
Valentine is not known for his restraint, but he is known for being able to recognize when something is an active threat and when something is just something that is scared. And right now, this is something that is scared.
I convinced it really well, right?
Yes.
So I'll keep that in the chamber. Okay. I have Bedlam, so I can make them feel a specific be in a specific emotional state.
I think with Threadripper and Zero Day combining efforts to create an effective glamour, we both need to mark corruption for that.
I think so too.
Yeah. Reeza, how are you reacting to all of this?
Just confused as to why it just sounds so normal, and also very curious to why this thing had been in prison.
That's an excellent question. Also, how did it get out? It's not often that things get out of there, and this doesn't seem... I mean, it seems potentially chaotic, but maybe not exactly dangerous, so...
Yeah.
Would I have something in my office, in parentheses, Sanctum Sanctorum, that could potentially help us get to the bottom of this mystery?
Well, we have all the info on a phone. And I've been digging through it, doing my technology stuff.
Well, all the info in the goblin files, which, there could be something concealed.
Good ask.
Like, maybe some kind of magical magnifying glass that can reveal what is hidden?
So, your sanctum, you have 4 features. Have you chosen the 4 features yet, or did you skip past that part? Extremely knowledgeable assistant.
Yes, yes. Extremely knowledgeable assistant, testing ground, magical booby traps, magical wards, Threadripper, go!
Okay, so we've got these magical binoculars. Maybe we can use them to, like... no, that wouldn't work, because that would show us the reverse, or just show us. But we can back away a little bit and then look at it through the binoculars, and maybe it'll tell us the school of magic or what kind of magic it does.
Yeah.
The ghoul?
Yeah.
Or we could ask them.
You could roll to figure someone out.
I want to roll to figure someone out.
Oi, French roast, how'd you get out of prison?
Why were you in prison?
So when you try to figure someone out, roll with mine. On a hit, ask 2. On a 7 to 9, they ask 1 as well. The questions are: who's pulling your character strings? What's your character's beef with blank? What's your character hoping to get from blank? What does your character worry is going to happen? how could I get your character to blank, or how could I put your character in my den?
Did you just roll a 12?
I rolled a 12.
Okay, so you get to ask 2 and they won't ask you any back.
Awesome. Do I have to pick from that list?
Yes.
We know what they're hoping to do.
Tweak phrasing a bit, I will allow for that.
Okay, so we know what they're hoping to get. They're hoping to not get out of prison
So
and become
basically,
more
get
like...
freedom.
Yeah, I got freedom. But are they hoping to become, like, more human? So they can disappear into the crowd or something?
I want to know how the ghoul escaped prison. And I think that I could be creative enough with who's pulling your character's strings. Be like, who helped you escape?
Mm-hmm.
And then y'all were saying, like, what's their...
Their end goal? We know it's to stay out of prison, but how?
Okay.
Why were they in prison?
Yeah, that's a good one. Why were they in prison? Sorry, that's a very good
Yeah,
one. Reeza.
so we would like to know why they were in prison. Just
I mean, you can also ask that roll to persuade them to answer.
Can I do that?
Yeah, so, Valentine, you're asking the questions as they're walking.
Who's pulling your character's strings? So who helped you escape the pokey? Was it... Someone helped you, right? Right?
I know there was a person, but I don't actually know who it was or why, but sometimes there were kobolds down there and they would help with maintenance and stuff, and sometimes they bring stuff and sometimes they go get stuff for people. I never really talked to them very much because I'm kind of like off in my own little corner by myself. But one of them gave me something and said that I needed to do a thing with it, and I did the thing and I was able to get out.
What was the thing? Oh, that's not Valentine's question. That's my question.
I don't remember. It was kind of hard to remember things back then.
Understandable.
I mean, yeah, when you're incorporeal, you don't technically have a solid brain, so I guess that would make it hard to remember things.
What's a brain?
Exactly.
Exactly. Jinxies!
you're gonna get so many cokes.
Yeah. I'm gonna trade them all in for 2 murder buzzes. Ooh, 2 for me. And I'm not gonna share.
I deal with this every day.
You say that like you don't love it.
What do you worry is going to happen? If I could twist that a little bit, just to, I want to know why he was in prison.
What's your character's beef with blank?
Yeah, what's your character's beef with blank? Who did you rub the wrong way to end up in the Ghostbusters basement?
I don't remember. I was in there for so long. There used to be someone else that would come down that I thought was in charge of everything. And then a new person started coming down and proceeds to describe Madeline. And I was too scared to try and get her attention because I didn't want to get in any more trouble, but I didn't remember why I was in trouble. I don't remember why I was put in there. I don't think I did anything wrong. I was just kind of collected and put in there, and then I don't remember what happened afterwards. So pissed off whoever was in charge before Madeline.
I have issues with this.
Me too.
Me 3. Who was before Madeline?
I say we go pay a visit to Madeline and find out.
Well, what do we do with Coffee Bean here? Can I call you Beanie?
Yeah, sure, I like that name. Coffee beans are great. Also, that's adorable.
I wonder if I could put you in my pocket.
We need a place for Morning Jolt to be safe.
Beanie.
Beanie to be safe.
Thank you.
And somewhere that's going to be supernaturally protected. Somewhere that Beanie can claim sanctuary. What better place than in the employ of a god?
I don't think Anne has.
Anne's hiring right now.
There's more than one god in this city.
There's a few gods in the city, you guys.
Okay, Nancy's not hiring either.
Neither's Joe.
No, Joe's out of town.
Oh, okay. He's a meanie anyway.
Okay, but what about Decaf?
Oh, hey, Decaf.
Decaf is a good idea. Good job, Valentine. So proud of you, boss.
Thank you. Wait.
You mean there's a god of coffee?
There is! Isn't that amazing?
Do you think he'd like me?
Why wouldn't they?
I'm going with that answer.
As long as you stick to the used grounds, you probably won't have any trouble.
Yeah.
Careful, some of them are magical. I think they lose their magic once they are brewed. You know, that's a good question. Let's go eat some and find out.
No.
Okay,
No to you.
Do you think he'd get a tax credit for recycling if he's feeding used grounds to an undead spectre?
No.
Probably. Oh, no.
No, not here.
No? Not sure.
I wonder if the grounds would taste any good if you add enough sugar.
Anything tastes good enough if you add enough sugar.
I don't want to see you guys on grounds. Oh my god.
I
Just
do.
more caffeine.
Coffee grounds are great.
Tell you what, Zero Day. You try it, I'll watch.
Not for them.
In my defense, I don't know much.
I just want to see Zero Day eat a spoonful of coffee grounds. Don't ruin this for me.
It's gonna basically be the cinnamon challenge all over again.
I will say, Valentine probably drove here, so there's a car.
One of my equipments is a crappy car.
So does this mean I have to get in the back of that car?
Oi!
You can ride shotgun if you want.
I'm not sitting next to this guy.
Oi!
And yes,
You could hop on Reeza's scooter if she'll let you. Scooter. Motorcycle.
Scooter.
Right?
Motorcycle.
Okay.
Sorry, my brain switched.
Alright. Hard to maintain a glamour when you're hanging onto the back of a shifter and the rest of you is just going into the wind.
I could strap you to the roof of Galahad if that would make you feel better.
that would be even harder to maintain a glamour. So just get in the car, Zero.
Fine.
Thank you.
So, you'll take your new friend Beanie over to find a new home with the decap god, and Beanie is very excited. Beanie is not used to having friends. So Beanie now has friends and a safe place where they're not gonna have to go back to jail as far as they know.
And technically, we've upheld our half of the deal by capturing the ghoul.
Yeah,
Yeah, did we actually say that we were going to return them too?
Nope, that wasn't part of the deal, just capture the ghoul.
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotta love a loophole.
So that has been dealt with. But you do have a bit of a conundrum of why was it in there, how did it get out, and who gave the kobolds the thing that got it out? You have been listening to The Trouble with Ghouls, a Graveyard Tapes side quest following a caffeine conniption, featuring Brianna as the producer and keeper running the game, Caitlin Sinnott as Reeza, Rick the Whitebird as Threadripper, Chase Hunter as Valentine, and Angela Dumalog as Zero Day. Urban Shadows is an urban fantasy tabletop role-playing game in which mortals and monsters vie for control of a modern-day city, political battleground layered just under the reality we think we know. It's based on the Powered by the Apocalypse system, and you can find it at Magpie Games.